Most people assume that a hospital is a place to be treated for wounds and injuries, not a place where one can expect to be injured. In fact, a 2-month-old little girl named Lylah Rose experienced just that here Wednesday, March 28, 2012 at Mercy Medical Center, also known as Dignity Health. I had the chance to speak with Tiffany and her sister Jamie about Lylah Rose's ordeal, and I had the chance to meet with little Lylah Rose, a voice which has become a calling cry for many other children who have gone unheard.
I took my daughter in to the Merced ER. She was having diarrhea and a fever, and they told me I would have to wait for a room. And so when we finally got back into the room, the nurse for our room came in, and her name was Linda. She said that the doctor needed labs on Lylah to see if she was dehydrated. And she poked her one time and then said that she couldn't get it, and she was going to go get a nurse with more experience. And his name was Jesse. He came in and stuck her 2 times and couldn't get it. They asked for a nurse from pediatrics to come down. She came down and stuck her 4 times in the hand, and when my daughter started crying, she looked at me and was like, "Oh, she's not crying because it hurts." And I was like, "Well, you stuck her, 4 times. Anybody would cry if if they got stuck that many times. It even hurts an adult." And she tried one more time and blew her vein. She said, like, on her last time, she said, "Oh, dang it, I blew it." So Jesse came back in a period of about probably 30 to 45 minutes. He stuck her 6 times in 6 different places. He wasn't able to find a vein. They brought in a new machine called a vein finder. Was trying to find a vein. They were not able to find one. So he turned the machine off and he said, "Well, let me go grab something." And he came back in and he had a marker-sized light, and it plugged into the wall, and he stuck it to the palm of her hand and closed her hand around it and to see through. And at that time he asked her dad to turn off the lights. And when he turned it on, and he held it there for about roughly 8 to 10 minutes looking for a vein, and squeezed it real tight around her arm, and the whole entire time she was screaming on the top of her lungs and just crying hysterically, and to the point where the nurses walking by, even some nurses, poked their head in the room and asked, "Why is that baby screaming so loud? Like, poor baby," and my sister yelled out real loud, like, "Why is she crying like that?" And he looked at her and told her, "Oh, she's not crying because I'm hurting her. She's crying because I'm holding her hand down and she's agitated." And so he ended up, after the 8 to 10 minutes, he told Lylah's father to turn the light back on, and then he poked her again, and he missed that. And then
that's when he stopped.
And that's when he stopped, and the doctor came in saying that they weren't able to find a vein, so they were going to do an IO. And I told them no. I told them that they're not going to, they couldn't even do an IV,
Right. And so that's when you requested for Lylah to be transferred to Valley Children's then?
Yes.
Can you describe to us more about what Valley Children's, once you got Lylah there, their explanation on her hand and why it looked the way it did, or?
They really didn't know what it was, because,
When she got to Merced, she had no burn, and I didn't tell them anything about a burn or anything like that at Valley. So I'm thinking that it didn't even cross their mind that it would be a burn.
Yeah.
So it was just raw skin showing at that point. It wasn't like
Because
a bubble or anything like that.
The tape that was on there, it had taken the skin off with it. They also looked at all of her pokes, and they also told me that she had 3 blown veins, and they said that at their hospital and at any hospital is what they told me, that that one nurse is never allowed to poke a baby more than 2 times, and I didn't know that.
And I was a witness to that, you know, her saying that, and her looking at Tiffany, my sister, looking really concerned, like, what is on her hand? Like, what do you think that could be? And her saying, I have no idea what that is. And she ended up putting antibiotic cream on it. And
well, she said that she had no idea what it was. One of her things that she thought it may have been would be a latex allergy, or an allergy to the tape, but you could tell it wasn't, because she had the tape on both of her hands, both of her arms, both of her feet, and so they ruled that out.
We showed up at that time, me and my mom and I, to, you know, go check and make sure everything was okay. And we had went up there, and she was just screaming the whole time that we were up there, just crying, and, you know, and I was like, why is she crying like this, Tiffany? And she's like, I don't know, you know, I'm like, I'm not sure. And so I was just trying to, like, comfort her and stuff like that. And then my sister had mentioned, you know, like, look what I seen on her. I just, you know, looked down and we noticed this, and we looked down and her skin was peeled off, and it kind of looked like, you know, like you would get, like, fuzz, like your shirt, you know, you'd find fuzz, and it was her, that's what her skin looked like there was fuzz on her hand or something. It looked really weird to me, and I was like, what is it? And she was like, I have no idea. And even the nurse looked at it and was like, yeah, I don't know what that could be, because, you know, there'd be no reason why she would have a blister or something, you know, so.